Welcome to The Bible Has Answers for today, where we discuss God's creation and how to defend our faith. I'm your host, Mike Riddle. Today we're going to look at the 2 Peter 3:8 challenge. 2 Peter 3:8 is often used in arguments to justify that the days of creation were really long periods of time and not literal days. So let's start by reading 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now from this verse, people will quite often draw a deduction or conclusion. One, that the word day can mean a long period of time, such as 1,000 years. Now the word day can have multiple meanings. It can mean a portion of a day, such as the daylight portion of a day. It can mean a 24-hour period, or it could be some distant point in time, such as the day of the Lord. Therefore, they conclude, since the word day can have multiple meanings, it does not have to mean a literal day in Genesis chapter 1. It could mean long ages. Now, to solve this challenge, we're going to use the principle of 2 Timothy 2:15, which reads, Be diligent to present yourself approved to God as a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Now, what 2 Timothy 2:15 means is, we're to study to show ourselves approved, and we're to correctly handle God's word, not take it out of context or add anything to it. Now, to solve this challenge of 2 Peter 3:8, we're going to use 3 steps. Step 1 will be context. Context does matter. Step 2, we'll look at the style of writing used in 2 Peter 3:8. And step 3, we will come to a conclusion. So let's go to step 1, context. We must use words in the context that God gave them to us. Now, when we look at 2 Peter 3:8, we look at the words above it and the verses below it. Something very interesting shows up, and that is 2 Peter 3:8 is not talking or referencing the beginning. It's not talking about the book of Genesis or the days of creation. 2 Peter 3:8 is really referencing the end times and the character of God. Now, let's go to step 2. The style of writing. The Bible is written in many different styles. It's written using parables, figures of speech. Some of it's written in poetry, and some of it in narrative. Now let's go back and read 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now in this verse, there's a very important word. The word is as. That word as turns 2 Peter 3:8 into what we call a simile, or in this case, a figure of speech, which means it's not meant to be taken literally. See, a figure of speech uses words to paint a picture or describe something that is real. We use figures of speech all the time in our language, such as busy as a bee. It does not mean the person was a bee, but it's using words to paint a picture. This person is very productive, doing a lot of work. Or how about it was as light as a feather? We're not saying the weight of this object was identical to a feather, but in context, it was very light or easy to lift. Or how about he's as tall as a giraffe? We're not saying this person is 16 feet tall, but in the group they were with, they might have been the tallest person. Or how about this one? He runs like a gazelle. We're not calling this person an animal, but we're painting a picture of how he runs. He runs very fast and very gracefully. And that's what 2 Peter 3:8 is. It's a figure of speech painting a picture about the character of God, that he is not bound by time, he created time. And 1,000 years to us is nothing to him. So it is not meant to be taken literally. So step 1, 2 Peter 3:8 is not talking about the beginning, it's talking about the end and the character of God. Step 2, the style of writing is figure of speech, meaning it's not meant to be taken literally. So now, step 3, we can draw our conclusion, and that is Genesis 1 does not use words like as or like. In other words, Genesis 1 is not a figure of speech. Genesis 1 is actually written in the narrative format, meaning it's meant to be taken literally. And Genesis 1 specifically uses the word day to describe time, and that word day is actually defined as an evening and a morning period. And then the days are numbered sequentially. Therefore, 2 Peter 3:8 cannot be used to change the word day to mean a long period of time. To do so is actually taking God's word out of context. The proper interpretation is that the word day in Genesis chapter 1 means a literal day. And there you have it. We have answered the 2 Peter 3:8 challenge.